Now that they're hearing that like rattle sound, now they're gonna just go ballistic on me. That's getting a little shaky. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be absolute carnage in the comments. I'm taking some serious L's this week. Not only do I expect engine damage in the McLaren, which that footage, that last video, hard for me to watch. And not only that, the window in my Lamborghini decided to get smashed out last night. Thank you very much. There's literally nothing of value in the car, so dude just smashed the window out. Checked the glove box, went on with his day. Now here I am, $500 out of pocket, insurance claims, and probably 2 months waiting on a window to get here so a certified shop through insurance can do it. And not only that, I really appreciated all the nice comments I got last video. It really was great to start my day off by reading that comment section. I can kind of see why a lot of YouTubers don't even read their comments anymore. Yeah, not only that, my car got pooped on too. What a week. Well, there are some things I'm excited about though. LaserSterling is gonna come over and he's gonna help us complete the trunk shroud, the trunk surround that he 3D printed. I mentioned that last video that he's gonna actually fly out here and do that with me. So I'm super pumped for that. And I know Ryan's gonna come over here, hopefully diagnose some of the oil pressure issues and stuff we're still getting on this car. There's a good chance I'm about to take a huge financial hit. So yeah, anyway, let's get to it. LaserSterling is here, all the way from Colorado. He just flew in. So you want to just run him through real quick what we're gonna be doing?
Yeah, great. We have our own projects where we do 3D printing on some supercars. I'm also doing a McLaren, it's a 600 LT, but it's different than the 650S. So I had to find a model first of all to do a 3D print for your surround. The model didn't come at the right wheelbase and track width. And so I had to adjust for that and basically scale the model up to see if we could print that. You sent me a few measurements. I took those into account and then I 3D printed 20 parts. And then if we need to make those adjustments, I'll print you a new one and try again.
We'll improvise and we'll make it work.
It's the beauty of 3D printing.
Get some hot glue in there.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to it.
Hot glue.
It's time to make these pipes and the mechanics of this car finally disappear. The trunk tub I picked up in LA last month, but I couldn't find the actual trunk trim to finish this area off. That's where LaserSterling comes in. He found this exact 3D model of the exact part we needed. He tailored the model to the parts that we needed and he 3D printed it for me. And obviously he even flew out here to help me assemble it.
It fits exactly right. Curvature and everything is right on. Wow.
We got to work organizing and shaping the pieces with tape before actually assembling it the next day.
You want to show me the goods?
Yeah, so here's all of our parts. We have to print these in separate pieces, obviously because my printers are small. The other reason that you want to print in small pieces is that if you have a large format printer and a very large printer, if something goes wrong or you can't keep the environment stable, the prints will warp. Now there are various ways of binding all of these pieces together. I have tape for helping the parts cure while they're glued, but we use this, which is ABS ASA glue. This is what is known as a plastic welder. So that's what we're gonna get on, is we're gonna start probably gluing together each half. And then once we have that, we can put the halves in there. And if there's a gap, then we can 3D print some more material and fill that gap. Did they lose a piece?
Empty.
Thank you for TSA. That's awesome.
If you have the file, we can print it if you have the...
I do have the file.
Okay.
Yeah, it's this section right here.
Okay. Dang.
So in case you just missed it, his checked bag at the airport got opened up and inspected by TSA, and they lost one of the pieces we needed, which obviously means we couldn't finish this, and it was pretty much a waste of a trip for him in that case. So thanks TSA, but maybe don't be freaking stupid next time. But luckily I actually have a 3D printer and he had the design file for it on his computer, so he sent me the file, I printed it overnight, and we got straight to work in the morning. Wow. I know a lot of you guys might know the general process for 3D printing and parts and all that kind of stuff, but in case you don't know, let's kind of run through it. So first you actually want to make sure the part is going to fit when it's all assembled. So you tape it up and you make sure it kind of roughly fits in. So next, when you verified that it will fit, you kind of piece it together piece by piece, permanently bonding each piece together so it fits as close as possible to the shape it needs to be in the end. And then when you have the whole thing pieced together in a semi-permanent form, you permanently bond it together in a finished form, and then do body work and any finishing work you want to do to it. It's a pretty simple process, but it really does have a learning curve to it. You have to know the 3D modeling software, the hardware to print it, bodywork skills. You get the point.
There it is.
Voila.
We got to hang out for several hours doing this, so I got to know him a lot better in person. I'd been following his channel for a while before this, and we had emailed previously on, other projects. So I was thrilled to be having him out and making this connection in person. Sterling is the kind of guy who I can tell has a soft heart and a warm personality because of the experiences he's had to grow through and build his character through over time. He's a husband, a father, a veteran, a teacher, a 3D printing, laser shooting, Lamborghini building, son of a gun. And just from the time I spent with him over this weekend, I can tell he's sharp, talented, and overall just a great guy with a lot of life experience. I highly recommend checking out his channel and project, and I'd love if you guys can go show him some support on his channel. Over our time together on this project, he kept joking that his videography skills aren't as good as mine, but in my opinion, his love of his craft and his heart for education in this space more than make up for it in his videos. And what a blessing it was that he was willing to use his skills on our McLaren project over here in California.
Yeah, you did fantastic work, dude. That just fits perfect.
So what you can do is you make a cut with this guy
Yep. And then,
down here, and then fold it out, and then fill it in with plastic.
Yep. Or hot glue. Arts and crafts time for me tomorrow.
That's right.
There she is.
Installed.
All done.
Tighten that down, and that'll
Yeah, it fits great, man. That's perfect.
be perfect.
That's incredible just how close it is. So I think this is probably a little taller than it normally would be. Nice.
It's
in there. Yeah. A little bit of hammering on it.
Yeah, I think it's going to take a little trimming.
Yeah. No, that's close enough, dude. I can take it from here. That's all that matters. Seeing it like this without seeing all the mechanics underneath.
All the ugly.
Man, I can tell you I've been tired of seeing all those pipes in there.
And just like that, this project was done, and I've implemented a new rule on this project. That if you help on this project, you sign the dash. It was a huge privilege having you out, dude. We'll definitely have to go for a ride when the car's done. This whole McLaren project obviously is taking a little longer than I wanted it to, but I've kind of accepted it. I'm kind of okay with it because we're making a lot of awesome friends along the way, and it's becoming an experience that I'll never forget because of that.
We just got the two sensors we need from Supercar Garage. First and foremost, most important thing right now is the ambient air temperature sensor. We'll actually have some controlled radiator fans after this, so the car can warm itself up to temperature without the fans blowing the whole time. And then we have a trivia question from the man himself, 675 LT. How many coupes were made? How many spiders? Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Supercar Garage and the Inja. So I'm very happy to support him and his channel, Supercar Garage ATL. Believe it or not, this is $300 of sensors, two sensors. Obviously oil pressure sensor here. This is the ambient air temperature sensor, 200 bucks. It's like a build your own kit too. It's like not even pre-assembled. And they only go in one way, so I should be safe just clicking these guys in. There we have it, one ambient air temperature sensor. And I think I know where this goes. And I'd like to get this installed before Ryan gets here. He's headed over here right now. I still feel kind of dumb running this with no oil pressure, but I'm not an engine mechanic. I had a false sense of security since it was running so well and everything. Almost every time this thing's run, I did like a fresh oil change, and so it had oil that it was sending to the engine pretty much on every start. So I'm hoping we're all right. Hopefully we find some oil passages that are blocked by sludge and we clear those out, and then the engine operates as it should. Still really stupid that this engine was so sludgy. I can't believe somebody didn't change the oil for 15,000 miles on this before they crashed it. Crazy. Let's get this air temperature sensor installed if we can find it real quick. He said it was right here. He told me it was freaking right here. And it's not. All right, well, sheesh. Well, maybe not. Not today. Unless it's this guy right here, which I highly doubt. On like the horn assembly? That doesn't seem right to me, but maybe we'll just plug it in and see what happens. Ryan just got here. What's going on, man? Last video was a little stressful on this guy. So I wanted to see if it would read our oil level. But the fans were on for so long that it just wouldn't get up to operating temperature. So I couldn't check the oil level on it.
Well, but then why would it spike to like, it spiked to like 100 and something, right? When
Yeah,
first started?
it was like 70 to 80 kind of there, and then you saw it spike and then go back kind of down.
Yeah, that's what took me out.
I'm curious if, let me search really quick to see if I can find like an engine diagram. I don't expect that I'll be able to, but working on the 650S right now, it's me and Ryan, and we're just trying to figure out the different values and stuff the engine should be running at. I'm gonna put Ryan on the phone really quick. And
Yeah, so I just got a quick question. Well, one, is there any kind of, like, for McLaren techs, is there any kind of, like, diagnostic software, like All Data or Mitchell?
To fully diagnose and treat this oil pressure issue, we need some specific insight into pressure values and the inner workings of McLaren engines. So we jumped on the phone with Kevin again to get those types of questions answered. Kevin has been a great resource on this project so far. Good guy, knows McLaren's.
It's like a precursor to an underlying problem.
Yeah,
you know what
gotcha.
I mean? So pretty much every time without fail, when you add more oil into
Exactly.
it, that's what's happening. Basically, we just got to find the blockage in the system and relieve that blockage.
That's exactly what I'm thinking it has to be. It's
that noise, I can hear it. It sounds like the lifters are not being lubricated properly.
okay,
Like loud and clear, I can hear it.
okay.
You'll hear what I'm talking about pretty clearly. It shouldn't really sound metallic-y like that.
Yeah. Okay.
So I think we ought to go ahead and shut it off.
Cool.
Yeah, that definitely sounds like it's oil starved. In this kind of system, it is absolutely critical that the oil pressure is correct.
Anyway, we started our search for a blocked passageway, and we're starting from the outside in this scenario. So I bought a really nice camera for this exact thing. And we didn't even have to look that hard before we found a big issue. The oil pickup tube, or whatever this is fully blocked by sludge. Ryan began cleaning it out with brake cleaner, and I actually took the oil pressure gauge off of the hose it was on and blew compressed air through the engine at the same time. And a lot of sludge started coming out.
Oh wow, it's like mostly clogged. But yeah, let's go ahead and blow some air through there.
Let's do it. Ready?
Okay, now we're flushing oil out of here. Keep going, it's doing something. Look, there it went again. Another chunk just came out. If oil's trapped in there, this is getting it out.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's bad.
Oh yeah, it's coming out. It sounds like it's flowing a lot better.
It feels like it's flowing. Yeah, if we can get that oil pressure addressed and like get it to steadily build oil pressure reliably, the rest will probably work itself out.
Wow, that's a lot of sludge that came out of it, dude. You're not lying. Even on camera, there's just like the clear difference in sludge and fresh oil, even just on the rim of this. So let's pop this open and see if we dump it into a cup, see what we can see. Wow, that's the brown that I was seeing in the original oil. That is insane. If this fixes the whole thing, I will give you $50.
Dang. I can go to Sakura Chai by myself.
All right, ready?
Yep.
All right, let's do it. Oh, God. Bro, the smoke is gone. It's holding steady.
Listen to the motor now.
It's much smoother, it seems.
The rattle's gone.
Oh gosh. You want me to turn off?
Take a breath, you're okay.
Okay.
Shut it off. All right, throw some more oil in it. Now oil's staying steady though. Now, okay. Now the oil hasn't had proper oil pressure in a long time. So things are adjusting, things are moving, things are acting different right now, right?
Right.
That sound right there was more of a rattle. It wasn't a, you know what I mean?
Okay, yeah.
There's a different sound when motors are blowing up. So Our oil pressure was staying good. It didn't drop below 10.
That's awesome.
So,
okay, great.
Yeah, let's throw some more oil in it. And see where we go from there.
And the fans are not turning on. So that sensor must have fixed it. Wow, my heart is definitely pounding right now, but I think we're making some good progress.
No, definitely. One thing we got to be cautious of is there might have been a blockage that moved to somewhere different.
True, yeah, okay.
You're probably tired of pouring oil on this thing.
See where it sits. That's getting a little shaky.
Okay, now we got to figure out how to keep it from plugging up that filter. That filter's got plugged up again.
Yeah.
Has to be what it is. Right, so we've cleared the blockage, but we're getting more blockages.
I gotta say, I'm a little sketched out. But tomorrow we're taking the car over to Ryan's house where he has like a legit lift and all the tools that he needs to diagnose and hopefully fix this kind of thing. So now late at night, I get to load the car up on a trailer. I need to take the bumper off. Hopefully we have a nice running car again tomorrow. The smoke is all gone. We have good oil pressure now, but now we got like a rattle when it idles all the way down below 1,000 RPM. Off with the bumper, let's get to it. Oh yeah, this is easy. You'll start almost, I'll just wheel you on.
Okay.
Don't worry about it, I can control you.
Just let me know when to brake.
And brake. Thank you. And we'll go a little bit farther forward. And let it off slowly, and a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, right there. Perfect, I think that's it. Yeah, hopefully tomorrow it's actually like you can start learning how to drive it. All right, I'm about to head out to Ryan's house right now, but I need to just clear the air here because I take this very personally, and the comment section last video just was not it. All right, on my second channel, I have a little bit more behind the scenes, kind of what I do day to day. I am a business owner. I'm just a normal guy. I used to work construction a long time. I'm not a mechanic. I don't specialize in engine health and engine repair. So one thing I've learned over many, many years is if you don't have expertise in an area and somebody else does, rely on them, not your own knowledge of it. So that's what I was doing, dude, this whole time with the smoke issue. I had gotten outside opinions almost immediately when it started. Obviously, when it started smoking, it was initially, it's for sure overfilled oil. That's what the general consensus was. And that was pretty much like a 99% indicator, just overfilled oil. But then I started getting that intermittent low oil pressure warning on the display. And I immediately reached out to the resources I have that specialize in this kind of stuff. And the general consensus there was it's probably not a big issue if it's running fine. Oil pressure switches do go out, and so it's probably just giving you a faulty signal. Maybe there's oil on it or something. And if you guys have seen these videos at all, I always say how nervous I am every time I start this thing up because I knew there was a chance that there was actual damage being done. Now it really sucks because it's probably too late. Now there is probably engine damage done, and every opinion I was getting up to this point probably just lacked context. I have no freaking idea, but it's now falling on me to potentially replace this entire engine, which would be probably at least $30,000 to do myself with Ryan's help. It's like, I'm not a professional mechanic or anything. I know my way around cars and generally how all the systems work, which is why I'm trying to get help with this. And this whole time people have been saying it's not a big deal, don't worry about it. So it's hard for me to read those comments that's basically throwing all the responsibility on me, like I was the one that destroyed this engine, when I got it with severe neglect already and probably known issues and that it was going out already. Anyway, that's what I wanted to just say right here. Hopefully this engine is worth saving. There is that chance we will have to drop the engine though. I know that if I have to replace or repair this engine severely, it's not a big deal because, I mean, some have said that I'm like the Matt Armstrong in the US, so I'll just have to wait another month for that YouTube money to hit and I can just buy a new McLaren at that point anyway. I'll need to straighten out a little bit again.
Well, over the last couple days, I tried to remain optimistic the engine was all right and just needed this mysterious sludge and oil pressure issue resolved. So I got it to Ryan's house, we put it on the lift, and we just kept trying to figure out, the problem and if we can solve it now that we can access more stuff now that it's on a lift.
Haven't quite seen it like this yet. That's pretty cool. That's really cool.
And I know I'm probably in this situation and take responsibility for it because of things I did. So thanks again, Ryan, for taking on this project.
Yeah, I think it was a little bit of a compound thing. Like your oil pickup was completely plugged, so it couldn't get the volume of oil necessary to actuate the cam phasers. Now that we've solved that, it has the proper volume, and now the cam phasers are actuating, and they're
spring's broken or something.
They're failing. So
yeah,
that is what I'm thinking. I'm hoping it's something else. But
it sounds like cam phasers to me. I was looking into it too. Yeah.
So it's going to be sucking in oil through here and feeding it up to the engine through here. What I want to do now is see if there's any obstructions between here and here, and then possibly even drop this whole oil sump out.
Okay.
If we can do that without taking the engine out right now. McLaren sure don't like to make it easy to work on. It's like they want you to take the engine out for anything. The motor
hey, 30-hour job, $400 an hour.
Sounded great, and then once it drops below 1,000 RPM, it just sounds like a tractor.
It's difficult to say exactly what's going on. It could be your oil pump, it could be your bearings. I think you definitely have a oil pressure problem.
I have no idea the actual condition this engine was in before I got it. But this is the moment it was kind of setting in that it's now on me to majorly repair or even potentially replace this engine. And I know it's probably a long, dark road ahead full of huge financial hits. I'm hoping not. And while I'm always up for the challenge and finishing every project I start, I still got that sinking feeling that, I let my family down with this financial burden. That all the haters were right and I just didn't want to admit it. Like I let down all my family and friends who I told it's, really close to being on the road. But buying this car sight unseen, I knew from the start it very well could end this way. It just didn't seem like it would. So we'll make it work, and we'll make it work as fast as possible. Hopefully I'm wrong and we can still save this engine, but it just seems to be getting worse and worse over time, no matter how much we do to fix it. Honestly, I probably would have crashed this thing into a pole too.
All right, ready?
Yeah. No oil pressure at all. That sump is completely empty. Let's put like 2 quarts in it.
Okay.
I know it's super sensitive to oil, but it's worse to have
no oil.
No oil.
Too much oil.
Let's put a couple quarts in there. See, now it would make sense why it was so overfilled when you first got it. Remember, it was like super overfull of oil?
Yeah.
Somebody said, you know what, I'm running it into a pole.
Yeah, because we had those misfire codes from the start.
When was the last time you checked your cooling system?
Cooling system?
Looked like any
Like
oily
thoroughly?
sludge in the cooling system last time you looked in there?
No. All the coolant that I've seen from the car has been crystal clear every time.
Yeah, it's dumping the oil somewhere. Where's this oil going and why?
If you suspect the cooling system, I'm not going to rule it all the way out. And it's not the end of the world if we just want to pop off one of these hoses at the top of this radiator or something and
Yeah. No,
see
you
if it's
definitely
clear.
do that.
Yeah, it's
No,
clear.
I didn't see nothing. There's only so much more we can check without pulling that motor out.
Yeah, if we can't find anything from the outside, I think it's just kind of leading to somebody has to drop the engine at some point.
It'd probably be a lot cheaper than keep messing around with it, rolling the dice.
Until-
We're rolling the dice every time we start it. So,
Yeah.
Do you want to drop it? And when do you want to do it?
Today would be great.
Don't play. I'll start dropping it right now. Yeah. So now where we're at is when we fill up this oil sump, it empties the oil from the sump, pumps it to somewhere in the engine. But when we drain it from the motor itself, we're not getting anywhere near what we put into it back out. So that oil is getting unloaded somewhere in the system and we have no idea where. So instead of messing around and playing around with it with no oil pressure, could possibly spin a rod bearing or something along those lines. Right now, while we're still fairly confident that the motor is safe, let's just go ahead and drop it, explore everything, put it back together, knowing that it's fine.
Yeah, but that's just the natural step. It's either we drop it now and repair it for much less money, or we drop it later with blown bearings and rods and stuff.
For a significant.
Yeah, and then full engine replacement.
Right.
It's got to come down anyway. Let's save it if we can. We're gonna figure this thing out, and we'll cross-reference it with all the content we have on the engine and
we'll get it
technical
up and running.
specs, and we'll get it going.
And actually, once you get over the fact of it being a McLaren and like the intimidation factor of that, it's pretty much just a regular engine. I mean, like any other German vehicle I've worked on, it shares a lot of similarities with that. So I'm actually very confident in tearing this thing down and taking it down. So
yeah, I'm excited. I guess let's get to it. I'm not really excited, but let's get to it.